Hello, I'm the Code Architect. Today, we'll explore LLM benchmarks like HELM, Open LLM Leaderboard, and MMLU.
All right, let's dive into the world of large language model benchmarks. We're going to break down how we actually measure these incredible AI tools, looking at the big ones like HELM, the Open LLM Leaderboard, and MMLU. By the end of this, you'll know exactly what all those rankings mean and, more importantly, which ones you should actually pay attention to.
You've seen it, right? Every single week, there's a new model that drops, claiming to be the absolute best, the fastest, the smartest. It really feels like the Wild West out there. So, the big question we're tackling here is, with all that marketing hype, how do we cut through the noise and figure out which AI model is actually better?
Well, the answer comes down to something called a benchmark. And at its core, an LLM benchmark is really just a standardized test. The whole idea is to create a level playing field so we can assess and compare how different AIs perform on the exact same set of challenges. To make it super simple, just think of it like the SATs, but for an AI. Just like those tests measure a student's skills in math or reading, LLM benchmarks are designed to measure a whole range of an AI's abilities. It's really our best shot at getting an objective measurement of what these things can do.
Okay, so let's get into our first major benchmark. This one's called HELM. And as you'll see, it's all about taking a holistic approach. So HELM comes from Stanford, and the most important word is right there in its name, holistic. It isn't just about whether the model got the answer right. It's a really comprehensive test that's designed to see how a model performs in situations that are as realistic and messy as possible.
And here's what makes HELM so interesting, what it actually means by holistic. Think about testing a car. You wouldn't just care about its top speed, would you? Of course not. HELM does the same thing for AI. Accuracy, that's the top speed. But it also looks at fairness and bias. That's like the safety rating. And efficiency, that's your miles per gallon. It's a full 360-degree inspection, not just a quick spin around the track.
Okay, let's move on to the next one, which has a totally different vibe. This is the Open LLM Leaderboard, and I kind of think of it as the community's public scoreboard for AI. This leaderboard is run by a company called Hugging Face, which, if you don't know, is basically the GitHub for the entire AI community. It's a public, constantly running competition that tracks and ranks all the big open-source language models out there.
And this is what makes it so special. It's not some static report from a university. It is a live, breathing scoreboard for the whole community. Anybody can submit their model, the scores are always being updated, and it pulls in results from a bunch of other key tests to create its rankings. This thing is pretty much the real-time pulse of the open-source AI world.
Now for our third key benchmark, MMLU. This one takes a different approach altogether. It's basically a giant test of a model's raw knowledge. MMLU stands for Massive Multitask Language Understanding. And while HELM is looking at the whole car, MMLU is laser-focused on one thing, the engine. Its entire purpose is to measure how much a model knows across a ridiculously huge range of subjects. And when they say massive, believe me, they are not kidding. The MMLU benchmark tests models on a staggering 57 different subjects. 57! I mean, just think about that scope for a second. And just look at the range here. We're talking everything from elementary math and US history all the way up to super complex topics like computer science and even professional law. It's really designed to see if a model has the kind of general knowledge that you'd expect from a human expert in, well, almost everything. Okay, so we've got these different tests, all measuring different things. Now for the really important part, reading between the lines and figuring out what these scores actually tell us. This chart puts it perfectly. HELM's whole philosophy is about real-world use, so it uses interactive scenarios and a ton of different metrics. MMLU, on the other hand, is all about that breadth of knowledge, testing pure accuracy with multiple-choice questions. They're both useful, but they're measuring completely different things. But, and this is a really big but, we have to be careful. No benchmark is perfect. There's a huge problem in the field called benchmark gaming, where teams might train a model specifically to ace these tests. It's like teaching a student just the answers for the final exam without them understanding the actual concepts. Sure, they might get a perfect score, but can they apply that knowledge in the real world? Maybe not. And that's the risk here. So why does any of this actually matter to you? Well, because understanding these tests helps you pick the right tool for the job. Simple as that. If you need an AI for research or a task that requires a ton of knowledge, a high MMLU score is a really good sign.
But if you're building, say, an interactive chatbot, a model that scores well on HELM's holistic metrics is probably going to be a much better bet for you.
And that leaves us with this final, really critical question. These benchmarks are our best attempt right now to bring some order to the chaos of AI development. But as these models get smarter and more complex, we have to keep asking ourselves, are we actually measuring what truly matters for creating genuinely intelligent and useful AI? And that, right there, is the billion-dollar question that's driving this entire field forward.
Like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more AI insights. I'm the Code Architect. See you soon.